Chicago, the Windy City, home of the Chicago hot dog, deep dish pizza, Wrigley Field, and the formerly known Sears Tower. But it's also the capital of pinball. Most of your favorite manufacturers build your favorite games right here. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about my experience at the annual Pinball Expo of 2022. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel where I talk and do everything pinball. So if that sounds interesting to you, then hit that subscribe button down below. So I'm back from Chicago and I had an excellent time with all of you out there. Now, this is my third time at Chicago Expo. The previous two times were due to Scott and Penn Stadium flying me out and having a room for me, but I had to help run his booth. This year he offered to do it again, but I declined because I wanted to be able to experience this show as a free spirit. I wanted to be out there, being able to go where I want, when I want, with no responsibilities. And by all means, nothing against those of you that run a vendor booth, but I had a much more pleasurable time being the free spirit, being able to go and see and do whatever I want. Major props to those of you that go to Expo and you're working, like running a booth and stuff like that. Props, major respect, especially when you have to stand on that concrete floor for up to 12 hours. Now, speaking about floor, let's go over the floor plan, or the layout, if you will, of the show. This is the second time this show has been at the Renaissance. Now, before that was my first time, was at another place. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember the layout very well, but it was not appreciated by everyone due to the fact that basically at that time, Stern had their own room down the hallway that was strictly for all of their games, as well as where I want to say the tournament was being held. And then all the vendors and free play and stuff like that was in the main ballroom. And then you had all the other games for free play and stuff were in another room. It was very segregated, if you will. But the next time around, last year, they had it segregated once again, but a little bit differently. You would walk in and you would have all the games that were on free play and stuff like that in one area. Then you had it segregated off to where all the vendors and all of the manufacturers were in another area, and it was only open like certain hours of the day. Now, this floor plan for the year 2022 is by far the best that I have experienced. This was much closer to what Texas Pinball Festival does, where they combine everyone into a giant room. And I think this is basically probably the best thing you could do for everyone, the manufacturers, the vendors, and all the games that are on free play that people own. This is the best because you get to see everything all in one walk around. The vendors get plenty of traffic, the people walking by to see manufacturers' games or going through to see the free play games. It's all there, and I want to say that I don't think anybody had a problem with this layout. Everyone that I spoke to said that this was the best layout so far, so they have improved on that. Last year, the free play section was quite poor because evidently there was a lot of games that were turned off or not functional because of issues. But this time around, they had cards on every single game and a dedicated technician to repair these games. And so I want to say that majority of these games were up and running at all times. So once again, a major improvement there. Now, when it comes to the seminar room, it was moved, I believe. I don't recall last year's seminar section very well. I do believe it was one bigger room than this one, but I cannot recall what the audio was like. But I will state that this year, the audio was what I wish TPF was like. That is something that I believe TPF still needs to work on, is the seminar room. The audio is never up to par. It's always very hard to hear certain things where the speakers are set up. So it's something I know that TPF needs to improve on. I don't know if the seminar room for Expo can get any better, really, because the audio can be heard actually even in the hallways around the seminar room. So even if you're not in there, you could still hear it in the hallway because they had it set up through their intercom system. So I believe the seminar room was actually really good as well. When it comes to what manufacturers were on site showing off their games, you had CGC there showing off their Cactus Canyon prominently, as well as having a Medieval Madness and an Attack from Mars. Then you had the red carpet rolled out, of course, for the Stern Pinball area with their stage, and then them showing off their new Bond Pro and Premium, Mandalorian, Jurassic Park, Godzilla, Rush. There might have been a couple of other titles over there, like Deadpool maybe. I cannot recall, but I think there was a Deadpool Premium over there. American Pinball showing off their Valhalla, as well as Hot Wheels and Oktoberfest, and even Houdini. Pinball Brothers was showing off both versions of the Alien machines, as well as both versions of their newly released Queen machine. Jersey Jack Pinball, of course, showing off their newly released Toy Story 4 and their other titles like Guns N' Roses as well. Spooky Pinball was there, showing off their Halloween and Ultraman. Now, Haggis wasn't there, but luckily, I assume someone brought their Mermaid edition of Fathom. Just for future reference, guys, I will be releasing mini videos in the future going over Queen, Bond, Fathom, stuff like that. They will be in separate videos. We had vendors all over the place. Just to point out a couple of them that I happened to notice what their product was, and that was Penn Stadium showing off their new Neo Atom model, which is a thinner bar that goes on your machine. Then you had Outside Edge, or also known as Hard Tops, showing off, of course, the hard tops, but they're also going to be dabbling in the decal region of things. And they had like this really cool glitter version of said art. They were showing off a Tales of the Arabian Nights, but evidently they're going to be doing stuff like Fish Tales and other games as well, and it looked pretty dang good. Towards the back of the convention area, you had the homebrew section, which honestly has doubled in size from last year. There were a lot more games there to experience from all of those of you out there that have a lot of passion for this hobby. Mad props and respect, even more so after learning a little bit more about this area of the hobby, are those of you out there that build your own game. Something I need to note is that I felt that there were more than usual vendors selling off the retro gaming console stuff, like game cartridges and hardware and stuff like that. There seemed to be at least 3 vendors that were set up to sell video games and hardware. Nothing wrong with that. I just kind of wish I would have known, I guess, a little bit better, more in advance, so I can actually have a better idea of what games I need to look for to add to my retro stock of gaming console. There was also a vendor showing off what I believe it was called Polycades. I do have video footage of that, showing off basically custom cabinets that looked really good. I only got a price quote from somebody else on what these things cost, and they are definitely up there on price though. But price aside, they definitely look very nice. Now let me bring this video to a close by mentioning the best part of this show, and that is you. All of you out there that came to the show and made it what it was. Getting that moment to discuss with each and every one of you your thoughts and opinions about a certain game. Getting to play a game with you. Getting to have a beer, a meal, a mere moment that we were able to share in full relation to what we have a passion for, and that's pinball. That is my favorite part of the show. Thank you to all of you out there that took the time and came up to me to let me know that you enjoy my content. Without a doubt, it was, for every time I got that, it was always a surprise. I still never expect to just walk into a place and be recognized. I'm merely going there and I'm enjoying the show just as each and every one of you does. Thank you to all of you out there that gave me their condolences about my recently passed brother. It really meant a lot. I know that I told some of you out there that, I just had to keep my mind off of it, stop thinking about it, and I was okay. And obviously, every time someone would say, hey, I really enjoy your content, sorry to hear about your brother, obviously that gets brought back up, and I'm thinking about it. But luckily, I was able to be surrounded by a lot of people that evidently, going by what I was told, care about me and my content. So that was obviously lovely to hear. And of course, I want to give special shout outs to my fellow YouTubers that were there. And that was, of course, Todd Tuckey himself. He even provided breakfast and dinner for me quite a few times. So by all means, I love you, Todd. Thank you very much for having me in your life. Jeff at Arcade Hollywood provided me my credentials in order to get into Expo, so I will put a link to his channel in the description down below. Retro Ralph, who is primarily the arcade guy on YouTube, we're slowly converting him over to pinball, just bear with us. Got to see him as well. One time a year isn't enough there, Ralph. Get your ass to Texas Pinball upcoming March, I mean it. Now, there were so many of you out there, other content creators, that I could mention, but I know if I mention only a certain amount of you, I'm gonna miss the other portions, and I'm trying to keep the playing field just completely level and do a mass blanket of just like, I appreciate all of you other content creators out there, whether it be podcasts, video creation, streaming. Keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to seeing you all again at the next event. Guys, let's see if we can make Expo 2023 even better than this one. So by all means, if you did go to Expo or if you saw footage, either way, let me know in the comments down below on things that you wish would be implemented or changed in the upcoming year. And who knows, guys, maybe your comments and suggestions could be seriously considered at the next Pinball Expo committee meeting. Who knows? Down below. Give me the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and ding my dong. That way you can be notified of whenever I upload something for your viewing pleasure. And until next time, guys, peace out.